Everything in Chicago is about to explode, and episode 5 is shaping up to be the moment when every hidden plan finally starts to show its real face. If you thought the last episode pushed Tommy to the edge, what comes next might push him even further into choices. He can't walk back from. Episode 4 left Chicago in a dangerous place, and every character is feeling the pressure. Tommy has been trying to build his empire the way he always does, fast, loud, and with zero hesitation, but the city isn't making it easy for him. His recent moves have created new enemies, shaken old alliances, and brought unwanted attention from people who are watching closely. Every step he takes is being judged, and every mistake he makes is becoming someone else's opportunity to strike. Diamond is facing his own battles. He's trying to hold down his operation while keeping the peace, but peace doesn't last long in this world. The choices he made in the last episode are still hanging over him, and it feels like he's being pulled in two different directions. On one side, he wants to keep things steady, but on the other, he knows the streets won't wait for him to figure things out. His connection with Tommy is strong, but trust has limits, and those limits were tested hard. Jenard continues to move like a wild card. His plans, his people, and even his loyalties seem to shift from moment to moment. He took steps last episode that showed he's not done trying to control the game, even if it means working with people he shouldn't trust. Episode 4 made it clear that Jenard is willing to take risks that could destroy everything, not just for himself, but for everyone around him. And with each move, he forces Tommy and Diamond to prepare for problems they haven't even seen yet. Claudia, meanwhile, is making quiet but dangerous plays behind the scenes. She's still trying to rebuild her power and prove she can control her family's legacy without being ignored. The moves she made last episode were small, but they were sharp. And episode 5 is likely to show the true weight of her decisions. She knows how to strike without warning, and she knows exactly who she wants to hit when the chance comes. But maybe the biggest threat isn't on the streets at all. It's the people watching from the shadows. The feds have started to tighten their net, slowly collecting information, studying connections, and waiting for someone to slip up. Episode 4 hinted that they're closer than anyone realizes. And episode 5 might bring their first real step into the war zone. Everything that happened so far has pushed the story toward a breaking point. Every alliance is cracking. Every character is walking into episode 5 with pressure building on their shoulders, and the city feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for the next big move, the move that will change everything. Episode 5 is shaping up to be the moment where every quiet tension finally turns into action. Even though the show hasn't revealed everything, the clues we already have make one thing clear. This episode is not going to slow down. The energy is shifting, the alliances are tightening, and the danger is growing in ways none of the characters can fully control. The streets are speaking louder now, and every move someone makes sends a shock through the whole city. Tommy steps into episode 5 with more pressure than ever. His plans are bold, but now the consequences are coming from every direction. The teaser hints that Tommy is about to confront people he once trusted, and stand face to face with the fallout of deals that didn't go the way he expected. What makes this episode different is that Tommy can't rely only on force anymore. He's surrounded by enemies who are watching him closely, waiting for one moment of weakness. And for the first time in a long time, Tommy might actually be forced to rethink the way he moves. Episode 5 could be the start of a new strategy, or the start of a new war. Diamond enters the episode with the weight of his own decisions pressing down on him. He's trying to hold his side together, but episode 5 seems ready to test his patience and loyalty. The preview suggests that he may have to choose between staying aligned with Tommy or protecting the people around him who are tired of chaos. His position has always been about balance. But balance is impossible when both sides of the city are preparing for something bigger. Episode 5 might force Diamond into a corner he can't talk his way out of. Jenard is the spark that could ignite everything. The clues show that he's still moving behind the scenes, talking to people who have their own agendas. He's trying to rebuild his strength, even if it means stepping into alliances that could swallow him whole. Episode 5 hints that Jenard will either rise again or make a mistake so big it puts a target directly on his back. His plans are messy, unpredictable, and fueled by desperation. And desperate people are the most dangerous kind. Claudia's storyline is ready to break open as well. The earlier episodes showed her trying to regain control, working quietly to build something powerful without drawing too much attention. But episode 5 seems like the moment where she stops hiding and starts pushing. Her moves look calculated, and her intentions feel sharper than before. If the preview shots mean what they seem to suggest, Claudia might be preparing to hit someone with a move they will not see coming. Her family's legacy is slipping away, and she's not ready to let it vanish without a fight. And then there's the pressure building from the authorities. In previous episodes, the feds were the silent storm in the background, gathering names and tracking moves. Episode 5 looks ready to bring them one step closer to the center of the story. The clues show surveillance, unusual meetings, and a growing sense that the streets are being watched more closely than anyone realizes. This episode may be the first time we see the feds take a direct shot, forcing the characters to react fast or pay the price for every decision they've made so far. All the pieces are finally lining up. The energy of episode 5 is different. It feels like the middle point of the season where the story stops building and starts exploding. Every character is standing on unstable ground, and every choice they make could shift the entire direction of the show. Whatever happens next will not just affect episode 5, it will echo through the rest of the season. The setup is clear. Something big is coming, and Chicago is about to feel the impact. Episode 5 is the moment where every major character steps closer to the edge. And what makes this episode so gripping is how different their paths are becoming. Every one of them is carrying secrets, pressure, and motives they can't reveal. And episode 5 will push those hidden layers into the spotlight. This is the point in the season where each character's personal struggle begins to collide with the larger war taking shape in Chicago. The puzzle pieces are moving fast now, and each character is walking into the episode with something dangerous on their mind. Tommy Egan goes into episode 5 with more fire than ever, but also more weight on his shoulders. He's known for taking control, forcing the streets to bend to his will. But the clues for this episode show a new kind of challenge, one that doesn't bend so easily. His enemies are smarter, his allies are shakier, and the risks are bigger. Tommy knows the city is shifting around him, and he can feel that someone is planning a move that could throw his whole operation off balance. Episode 5 looks like it will test Tommy's instincts the same way Chicago tests its strongest survivors, quietly at first, then all at once. What makes Tommy dangerous is that pressure doesn't make him crumble, it makes him sharper. But even he can't ignore the warning signs anymore. He's stepping into this episode with a sense that he's running out of time. Before someone tries to cut him out of the game, Diamond enters the episode dealing with a storm that started inside his own circle. He's trying to keep his operation steady, but things around him are cracking. Episode 5 hints that Diamond will face choices that shake the foundation of everything he has been trying to rebuild. He's dealing with people who want leadership handled their way, not his. He's dealing with promises he made that are getting harder to keep. And he's dealing with Tommy, someone he respects but can't fully predict. Episode 5 may force Diamond to decide whether he stands with Tommy for the long haul, or whether he needs to break away before Tommy's war becomes his own. For a character who built his name on control and discipline, episode 5 will show what happens when the pressure around him finally becomes too loud to ignore. Jenard, on the other hand, steps into episode 5 like a fuse getting dangerously close to fire. His moves in recent episodes were wild, but they weren't random. Jenard is fighting for power, pride, and survival all at the same time. And the clues suggest that episode 5 will bring him face to face with the damage he has caused. He's trying to regain his position, but every action he takes pulls him deeper into a hole he might not climb out of. Episode 5 may show him taking a risk so big that it shocks even his own crew. Jenard believes he's playing the game smart, but the people watching him see something else. A man who's pushing too hard, too fast, with too many eyes on him. And in the world of power, the one who pushes the hardest without thinking usually becomes the one who falls the fastest. Claudia Flynn is entering episode 5 with a different kind of energy, focused, and extremely dangerous. She's been working under the radar, making connections and gathering leverage. She's done letting people underestimate her. And episode 5 looks like the moment she steps out of the shadows with a move that no one expects. Claudia isn't just trying to rebuild her role, she's trying to reshape the entire board. The clues suggest she has information, allies, and intentions that she hasn't revealed yet, and that makes her one of the most unpredictable forces heading into episode 5. While everyone else is fighting loud battles, Claudia is preparing a silent strike, and those are the ones that hurt the most. And then we have the feds, the quiet hunters who've been lurking in the background, gathering every detail they can. Episode 5 is hinted to be the moment where their presence becomes harder to ignore. They're not guessing anymore, they're connecting dots. They're watching money trails, tracking movements, and studying every shift in the power balance. Their approach is slow but deadly. And episode 5 may be the first time they make a move that changes the entire structure of the streets. They're not coming for one person, they're coming for the whole web. What makes episode 5 so intense is that all these characters, the leaders, the risk takers, the silent planners, the loth, they're all on a collision course. Their choices are building toward a moment where someone is going to lose something major. And with every hint the show gives us, it becomes clearer. Episode 5 might be the point where the season stops building tension and finally starts breaking things apart. Episode 5 is surrounded by clues that most viewers might miss on the first watch. And these small details are shaping the direction of the entire season. What makes this episode feel so intense is that the hints aren't loud, they're subtle, placed in the background, hidden in small gestures, or tucked inside quick lines of dialogue. When you start putting these pieces together, you realize episode 5 isn't just another chapter in the story. It's the turning point. It's the moment when hidden intentions start revealing themselves without the characters even realizing it. One of the biggest clues comes from the way the camera lingers on certain characters during episode 4. These aren't random shots, they're signals. The preview shows the same energy. Whenever the camera focuses too long on someone who isn't speaking, it means something is boiling underneath. For example, there are moments where Tommy looks over his shoulder or pauses before responding. And these small reactions suggest he knows someone's playing a game behind his back. He may not have the full picture yet, but the clues show that he senses a threat forming. And episode 5 could be the moment he finally identifies where it's coming from. Another important clue comes from the city itself. Chicago feels different heading into episode 5. The streets look heavier. The tone is darker, and the people in power seem more guarded. There are scenes where background characters whisper, watch from corners, or exchange quick glances. And these aren't just for atmosphere. They hint that there are moves being made outside the main cruise. Someone is feeding information, someone is switching sides, and someone is waiting for the perfect moment to strike. When the environment changes in power, it usually means a storm is coming, and episode 5 is sitting right at the center of it. Then we have the clues tied to the feds. Their presence is more dangerous than ever, not because they're loud, but because they're quiet. In earlier episodes, we saw files being opened, photos being pinned, and conversations happening behind closed doors. These might seem small, but each clue shows a pattern. The authorities are tracking the network, not the individual players. They're building a case, piece by piece, and episode 5 may reveal the first crack in the characters' operations. One tiny slip, one phone call, one meeting, one unexpected witness could cause everything to unravel. When the feds stop watching and start acting, things get messy fast. Claudia's storyline also delivers big hints. Her scenes often include small symbolic details, objects placed intentionally, phone screens shown for just a second, her expression shifting at the perfect moment. These are all clues. They suggest she's holding on to information no one else has. In one of the previews, there's a quick flash of her sitting with a calm look that feels almost too calm. That expression isn't confidence, it's calculation. It suggests she already made a move that the others don't know about yet. Episode 5 could expose this hidden step, and when it does, the balance of power might change instantly. Jenard carries clues in the way he talks. His tone keeps shifting, sometimes aggressive, sometimes uncertain, sometimes desperate. These changes are signals that his crew isn't fully loyal anymore. The preview shows him in situations where his eyes move fast, watching who's behind him, who's beside him, and who's missing. That paranoia isn't random. It means someone close to him is either planning something or already acting against him. Episode 5 might reveal the betrayal that's been growing quietly. Diamond's clues come through silence. Every time he listens instead of speaking, every time he hesitates, every time he takes a longer breath. It shows he's dealing with pressure he hasn't shared yet. There's a moment in the preview where he looks away during a conversation, and that tiny detail suggests he's hiding something important, whether it's fear, guilt, strategy, or a secret deal. Episode 5 might be the moment where that hidden truth comes out. And it could shift everything we thought we knew about him. And finally, there are the clues hidden in the dialogue. Quick sentences that sound simple but carry heavy meaning. Someone says, "You need to watch your back." Someone else says, "This city moves different now." These are warnings wrapped in casual words. The show does this on purpose. It plants these lines to prepare viewers for what's about to happen. And when episode 5 unfolds, those small lines will make perfect sense. Episode 5 is built on these quiet clues: camera angles, facial expressions, background movements, hidden objects, and short lines that foreshadow big events. When all these clues line up, they point to one thing: chaos is coming, and nobody is ready for it. Each character is walking into episode 5 thinking they know the game. But the real danger lies in everything they aren't seeing yet.